officially streaming, correct? Yeah, we can check. All right, so we're streaming. Stand by, everybody. Everything's on vibrate. You'll switch out. All right, Tyson will be your guy. Switch out. Okay, stand by. Here we come. We are speeding. Justin, here we come. 3, 2, whenever you're ready, sir.
Welcome to You Have Real Estate with me, attorney Justin Clark. Whether you're a first-time home buyer, seasoned investor, or just looking to sell your home, this next 30 minutes is designed for you. Think of it like hitting multiple open houses, all from your living room, with my attorney advice throughout the way. If you have any questions whatsoever, I have people standing by right now to answer them. All you have to do is call 407-205-0400. Plenty of your questions can also be answered on the website, youhavepower.com. Also, keep in mind, if you're renting right now and you want to buy, there's no better weekend than this weekend to get out there and start that house hunt, but you're going to need to get a pre-approval letter before you start the house hunt. Dallas Lehman is standing by to get you pre-approved today, 407-205-0400. We have 2 awesome houses to show you up in Seminole County as well that you really are going to want to make an offer on, and we'll get right to that in just a moment. But first, it's time for my opening statement. Hurricane season is upon us. What better time than now to check on your insurance policy? And I'm not talking about just any insurance policy. I'm talking about your homeowner's insurance policy. You have to have it, especially those of you that own your house free and clear. You don't have a mortgage company behind you ensuring you have an insurance policy. You need to make sure you have a homeowner's insurance policy in place today. As the hurricanes approach, they're not writing any new insurance. So you need to do it before a hurricane actually gets here. And really 3 main reasons why you need this policy. Number 1, liability. And what I mean by liability, let's say you have Uncle Johnny over for some cocktails one night, right? And Uncle Johnny has a few too many cocktails and slips and falls and breaks his arm, has back problems. Uncle Johnny is able to sue you for that, typically. So who's going to cover that? Who's going to cover that lawsuit? Not you. It's going to be your homeowner's insurance that's actually going to cover that lawsuit. Better yet, what about personal property? Let's say that you have a tornado roll through. You lose all of your televisions, all your personal belongings. You need to make sure that you're going to be compensated for the loss of all your personal items. And then the thing that we really think about typically with insurance is the roof blows off. We have construction problems and we have to get them repaired. You need that dwelling insurance to fix your house if something goes poorly. Something I see a lot with insurance is we don't shop it around every year either, or we don't shop it around even before we buy our house. So let's make no mistake. The cost of your insurance policy directly affects your mortgage payment every single month. You have PITI, principal, interest, taxes, and what's the I? Insurance. The insurance affects how much you pay for your mortgage every single month. Home insurance is very, very important. Make sure you have it. Make sure you're not paying too much, and you're going to be in really, really good shape. And now it's time for real questions. Every Saturday right here on You Have Real Estate, we ask real questions to the truly trend-setting people in Central Florida's real estate community. Today on the show, we have Isa Marin from I Know We Insurance and some repeat visitors, JR and Holly Kroll with JR Kroll Realty. Welcome back to the show. How was the wedding, first of all? I know was it a son that got married after we met last time?
My oldest son got married. And
what did that cost you?
Not too much. I'm on the dad's side.
Oh,
dad's side
good.
gets it off easy. So.
Oh, good. So you guys are killing it in Seminole County. I mean, there's no doubt about it. How have you really made Seminole County your spot? I mean, that's if you're doing real estate in Seminole County, you've got to go through Kroll Realty. How have you really focused on Seminole County, and how are you doing so well up there?
Mostly just a lot of marketing. I mean, we really specify in the West Sanford area. Lake Mary is where we keep most of our business. We sell throughout Florida. I mean, I've sold as far as Tampa, anywhere that our board can take us to. But mostly focusing on Seminole County and the northwest side.
Don't you think people are missing the boat on Sanford?
Absolutely. Sanford has really gotten to be revitalized. Downtown Sanford's amazing. There's tons of restaurants. If you're a brewery person, you could pub crawl. It's a lot of fun. There's always some sort of street event. So we go out there, at least once a week we're in downtown Sanford. And then of course we're so close to Lake Mary and all the shops and restaurants and everything there. And then the amazing schools. Sanford schools are A-rated as well. They're, one of the top rated in the state. So Sanford's the place to be.
Let's say I'm buying a house. We were talking about insurance before. I'm buying a house through you guys. I'm your customer. We've been out looking for a home. How long before closing do I really need to start shopping that insurance around? Is this something I do kind of the day of, or is this something I need to do in advance?
Unfortunately, a lot of people do it like the week before. It's not enough time. You really should give it a few weeks into the process, as early on as possible. Get a few quotes. Like I was discussing with Dallas earlier, that definitely the payment makes a difference of whether or not you can get approved for that loan. So it's very, very important to shop as early as possible.
You guys are going to show us two awesome houses here in a moment. We were talking before about the prices of these houses. When you go in and you talk to a new client, you're going to list their home. How do you come up with a value?
We determine it by looking at the actual sold properties in the vicinity of it, within couple hundred square feet of it, age, everything, kind of most comparable style home, and then you want to make sure that that you're looking at the sold properties, because even if you had someone that had a house that they loved and they wanted to pay more for it, they're getting a loan, it's most likely going to not appraise, because you're going to be bound by what the other sales in the area have come in.
So you go into a house and the potential customer says, I just know this house is worth $600,000. And because you work in this industry, it's worth $500,000. How does that conversation go?
It's usually not easy, but we do discuss with them, and I just keep telling them, this is not, I would love to sell it for 600 if it was possible, but it's just not going to happen. There's not going to be some cash buyer that shows up and says, I'll overpay for a house. They're gonna be like, even if they get cash, they most likely are gonna say, okay, well, what are the current values? They're gonna have a realtor themselves to determine what the value would be and what they want to pay for.
And then we always remind them that there's an appraisal involved. So even if you have a buyer willing to pay you $600,000, the bank is not going to give you that extra $100,000 because they do their own comps. So we remind them of that, and that comes into play a lot.
Do you find that maybe there are some realtors out there who will come in behind you and overpromise and say, oh, yeah, I think I can get $600,000 for that one? Do you see that happen in real life?
All the time.
There's a lot of listings like that now. They're just grossly overpriced, and because the seller wants to have a price that they feel is like, oh, well, this guy told me the most, he can get me the most, and that's just not the facts. They can't. And
I understand a seller to get as much as they can for their house. It makes perfect sense. We want to maximize the net we're going to get out of this closing. However, if you overprice it like that and it sits on MLS for 120 days, can't this be a negative actually for a property?
Absolutely. Your offers that you're going to get in, they're going to assume that the property is distressed, and your offers will come in lower and lower and lower. It's best to have your best price right in the beginning. That's when you get all your hits on Zillow and the various websites, and all your calls and your showings. So price it best in the beginning.
How would you describe now as the time to buy?
It's definitely a great time to buy now, because at the end of the year, we're going to have a lot less people buying, a lot less buyers out there. And the ones that are buying are a lot more serious now. They're really like, they have to buy, because most people are going to put it off at the holiday, and they're not going to, if they're really looking. So, putting your house on the market right now is a good time if you're going to sell, because you'll still have, a few buyers that are out there are serious. And then but as a buyer, it's a great time, because a lot of times houses that have been sitting, maybe someone that did overprice it previously, they're now going to be more willing to maybe come down on their price, and you might be able to get a better deal.
Not to mention those interest rates are super low right now.
We're buying a payment, not necessarily a house. We know how much money we make every month, and we really need to figure out what that's going to cost us per month. So the interest rate has a huge effect on what we can afford.
Absolutely.
And the interest rates right now are incredible. It's just a great time to buy. Even if the prices have gone up a little bit, the payment's going to be so low because of the interest rates. I think it's a fantastic time to buy. I did read a report that the inventory has creeped down just a tiny bit for the first time in a couple years. What does that mean?
Once again, less, supply and demand. So you're going to have less inventory is just going to show, which is kind of common for this time of the year too, because a lot of people are less houses going on the market. But still in Orlando, it's actually more expensive to rent a house than it is to buy the house. So even, because you figure if you're going to buy the house, rent the house, you still have to do the first month's rent, last month's rent, security deposit, and all that money you've put in there is thrown away. It's gone. So after a year, if you buy the same house, you put in a little bit more money, but if it's even less if you're doing a VA loan or something, you can put in very little money, get into this house, and in a year, you've actually gained value on the house, most likely.
How often are you seeing underwater homes now?
Not nearly as much as we used to. We actually used to sell for Fannie Mae, so we're
Yeah.
very, very used to that. And I so rarely, when I'm searching for a client, come across a bank-owned or a short sale. So that's great news for Central Florida.
Future of the 2019 real estate market. Where are we going from here?
I think same. I mean, we're going to have a slow increase for next year. It's just going to be not like we've seen these, double-digit increases that are coming up. I mean, we were kind of readjusting from the crash, and now I think we've kind of gotten to where the prices are pretty close to where the crash was at the highest point on most houses. And so we're going to see that probably next year is just slowly increasing. As inventory increases, we should see, a little more options out there for buyers.
J.R. Kroll, Holly Kroll, are you ready to show us some houses?
Sure.
I am.
This is what everyone always looks forward to every Saturday here on You Have Real Estate. If you have any questions about the properties we're going to show you, or you'd like to come see them this weekend, I will hook you up with the Krolls right away. All you have to do is call 407-205-0400. Let's head up to Sanford. This one is on Bellevue. Where is this in Sanford?
So 305 Bellevue is in the gated Versailles community in West Sanford. So we consider West Sanford anything west of I-4. What's really unique about this home, it's that it's a newer home. However, the owners basically took it from a cookie cutter production builder home, stripped it, and then they had a professional design team custom design it for them. The home has about $200,000 in upgrades. Some of the upgrades, as you can see here, are the wood floors. There's a stunning 10-foot waterfall kitchen island. People love those waterfall kitchen islands. There are custom built-ins everywhere. I think there was a picture there of the 70-inch gas fireplace right there on the stone feature wall. The outdoor lanai, that took 6 months for them to build. It includes a summer kitchen, a fireplace. The sellers are going to throw in the 6-person hot tub, so that house is ready to go. A couple of other bonuses to this home is it's equipped with hurricane shutters already. It's 100% Energy Star rated, and it comes with a 30-year structural warranty. So this house is solid.
I noticed this one doesn't have a pool. Are there a group of buyers out there who really don't want a pool?
There are definitely a group of buyers out there that don't want a pool. We get that from time to time where they specifically say, I don't want to have a pool. They don't want to maintain it. In this case, this is an older couple that have had pools in the past, and they just didn't want to deal with the maintenance, and they figured the hot tub is just as good. He cools them down, heats them up, whatever. It's huge.
Yeah.
I say 6-person. This thing is gigantic.
I mean, clearly someone could put a pool in there if they wanted to. There's room,
Absolutely.
but I just
Plenty
think,
of room.
especially empty nesters, I think a lot of people don't want a pool.
Yeah.
I can see if you have a 5-year-old and a 7-year-old, sure, I demand a pool. But someone who is, maybe looking to downsize or the kids are gone, it's tough to take care of a pool and expensive.
And the great thing about this house too, empty nesters love that it's all one story.
Yeah.
So
Oh,
it's
yeah.
a lot of square footage all on one floor.
All right, and price point on this one in Bellevue in Sanford.
$515,000.
Unbelievable. If you have any questions about this property, 407-205-0400. You can come check it out this weekend if you want. This is in Sanford, Florida, a really booming area of Seminole County that it's really nice up there. Trust me. If you don't know Sanford well, go check it out. Even go to downtown Sanford because it is going crazy there with the restaurants and the breweries and things like that. All right, let's stick in Sanford here, JR, and let's go to Canes Rin. Where is this?
This is actually in West Sanford also. This is a neighborhood I actually live in, me and Holly, and it's this one's 3,500 square feet. We have it listed at $419,900. It's got wood floors in the master bedroom, in the living dining area. It's got a huge screened-in patio in the back with pavers. So big enough to have a pool in there, but once again with no pool. Has master bedroom on the first floor, so it's good for any empty one that would want. You still have enough room for grandkids upstairs. So it's really a beautiful home.
I mean, if you look at the price per square foot on this, is there any way in the world you could build a home for
Oh,
that
no.
price per square foot?
No, not at all. No, and this is one of the lowest priced homes right now in West Sanford for the size.
Yeah.
There's a couple other that are bank owned that are completely destroyed, are going to take 40 to 50,000 to rehab, and those are still not as large as this one.
And this one's moving ready. It's ready to go.
It is moving ready to go.
And certainly priced ready to move too at $419. I don't think you could pass this up if you want to be in that neighborhood up in Sanford. It's really an awesome property on Canes Run. And again, if you have any questions, 407-205-0400. You can go check out this property this weekend or get pre-approved. Dallas Lehman standing by to pre-approve you right now. JR, I think you're going to stick around for the real estate roundtable.
Sure will.
Holly Kroll, always great to see you.
Thank you for having me
You
again.
got it, of course, my pleasure. And we're going to have Issa Marin join us here in just a moment from I Know We Insurance. She's going to tell us how to save money when it comes to homeowners insurance. But first, as you know, I've gone solar. And I know I'm saving so much money per month. I was paying $500 a month for my electricity bill. Now I'm paying $35 a month for my electricity bill. That's how I save money. Stephen Bader from IQ Power Solar was going to tell us how. How are you?
I'm good.
Where'd you go? Issa Marin, welcome to the show. How are you? Thanks for
good.
being here. I Know We Insurance out in Eustis, I believe,
Yes.
right? All right, so I know you do a lot of homeowners insurance. And here's the question I normally get. How much coverage do I really need? And I think people's question is this. Well, my house is only worth $400,000 on the open market. But if I were to have to rebuild it in the event of a storm, I had to tear it down, it would be much more than that. How much coverage do I really need?
A lot of factors go into that. The square footage of the home, the materials it's made of, the updates. If it's an older home, may cost more to update it than a newer home. And there's just too many factors to consider, and that's where we come into play.
A lot of times when I see someone having to get new insurance or they're buying a new house, the insurance company will require what's called a 4-point inspection.
Yeah.
What is that?
That's basically going to tell us how old the electric, the roof, the plumbing is of the home. Now also, if you have a newer roof, I would recommend a wind mitigation. Give us additional credits on the insurance because the 4-point is going to let us know how old it is, but a wind mitigation is actually going to let us put the discounts and credits in there to lower your insurance.
What are some of the variables that affect the cost of my homeowner's insurance?
It's going to be how old everything is. The roof, the plumbing, we got the electric, roof, plumbing, electric. I went blank.
What about AC? Is the
AC,
age of my AC going to
yeah.
affect the price?
And sometimes you have more than one AC. So if you've got an AC update, you got a partial update on the electric. So it gives us discounts there as well. Might be a partial, not a full, but everything comes into play.
Let's say I find a bunch of mold in my house. Is mold typically covered through a homeowner's insurance policy?
Yes, you always have some mold coverage. Some carriers are starting to exclude it. So that's where you got to be very particular in looking over your homeowner insurance policy to make sure there's no exclusions in there.
Help me understand this flood versus wind thing. So a big hurricane rolls through Sanford where I live, and my house basically blows down. But then there's also flooding. Hey, does the insurance policy cover flood, or does it cover wind? Does it cover both?
Typically, flood is going to be excluded on your homeowner's policies. So you want to make sure that you either get an endorsement or you get a separate flood policy, no matter what zone you're in. Flood zone or no flood zone, I recommend a flood policy.
Let's say that I'm still renting, all right? I haven't gone into the homeownership world yet. I'm looking forward to being a homeowner, but I'm still renting. Are there renters insurance policies out there for me as well?
Yes, and that's something I recommend as well because, the homeowner is going to protect himself. You want to make sure you protect yourself and your belongings. And if the home gets wiped out in a storm, you want to make sure you have money to put you up somewhere else while it's being rebuilt or you're finding a new location.
I complain virtually every day on my radio show about health insurance and the cost of health insurance, how it goes up every single year. Do you find that most of your customers, their homeowners insurance is going up every single year?
It is because the inflation, automatically everyone has built into their policy 2 to 3% for inflation. It will, slowly go up. So you can always reshop it, but you want to reshop it and make sure you're still being covered for what's important as well.
So can you reshop it for me? insurance through you? I mean, are you guys, can you only sell one type of insurance?